Imagine this. You're sitting with your phone in hand. It starts heating up. A second later, boom, it explodes. Could intelligence agencies really possess that kind of power? Today, we're diving into a question straight out of a spy thriller. Can intelligence agencies really make handheld devices like your smartphone or even a walkie-talkie explode? And more importantly, how could they do it? We'll explore the technology behind it, the possibilities, and whether we should be concerned about this sci-fi scenario becoming reality. Stay tuned to find out just how real this threat could be, and what you need to know to stay safe in an increasingly connected but dangerous world. Over to Amanda.
Good evening. This is Amanda reporting live with a shocking story that sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie. But could it be real? There are growing concerns about whether intelligence agencies could have the power to remotely detonate handheld devices, including smartphones and walkie-talkies. A question that once seemed like a conspiracy theory is now being investigated by experts. Could sophisticated hacking techniques or advanced malware allow these agencies to manipulate devices from a distance, causing them to overheat and explode? And if so, what does that mean for the average person using a smartphone? In today's live report, could your phone be at risk of becoming a ticking time bomb? Stay with us for all the details. A significant cyberattack in Beirut has led to a series of explosions involving pagers and walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah, reportedly killing at least 14 people and injuring 450. It includes civilians and Hezbollah members. The devices, including walkie-talkies and pagers, began to explode in the pockets of Hezbollah members in multiple locations, particularly in southern Beirut and across Lebanon. While Hezbollah has accused Israel of orchestrating the attack by planting explosive devices inside these communication tools months ago, Israel has not officially commented. The incident is part of ongoing tensions between Hezbollah and Israel, which have escalated due to conflicts involving Israel and Hezbollah's ally Hamas. Many of the injured sustained wounds to their hands and abdomens, with children among the casualties. The attack on Hezbollah's communications infrastructure is considered one of the most severe security breaches in recent history. It has raised fears of further escalation in the already volatile region. Hezbollah leaders have vowed to retaliate at the appropriate time, heightening concerns about the potential for a wider conflict between Hezbollah and Israel. The explosions caused by the cyberattack targeting Hezbollah's communication devices, including walkie-talkies and pagers, have not only inflicted devastating casualties but also raised alarms about the level of sophistication and planning behind the operation. The devices reportedly heated up before exploding, a detail that suggests a possible manipulation of lithium batteries or remote detonation using embedded technology. Hezbollah claims that Israel is behind the attack, viewing it as a continuation of their long-standing conflict, especially as Israel has historically targeted Hezbollah's infrastructure and leadership. These explosions took place amid heightened tensions in the region, where Hezbollah and Israeli forces have engaged in frequent clashes. Hezbollah has been a significant player in Lebanon's political landscape and, in the wider conflict with Israel, their communication networks, particularly walkie-talkies, pagers, and mobile devices, have been targeted in past intelligence operations, raising the possibility that Israel, or another intelligence agency, used a cyber or electromagnetic pulse attack to overload the device's systems. This attack represents one of the most substantial security breaches Hezbollah has faced, leaving their leadership and infrastructure vulnerable. The ramifications of this attack extend beyond the immediate casualties, as Hezbollah has vowed retaliation, fueling concerns of a broader military escalation. Experts fear that this breach could lead to further destabilization in Lebanon, a country already grappling with economic challenges and political unrest. With UN officials condemning the attacks and urging restraint, the international community is closely watching how Hezbollah will respond and how Israel will manage the heightened tensions. This incident illustrates the evolving nature of modern warfare, where cyber and electronic warfare are increasingly becoming key tools for intelligence agencies. The ability to target communication devices and cause physical damage highlights the potential for technological manipulation in conflict zones, posing new challenges for both security experts and governments worldwide. Can intelligence agencies make handheld and other communication devices explode? How it works and the resources they could use. Intelligence agencies around the world have vast technological capabilities, but can they make handheld and other communication devices explode? In this article, we delve into this question, examining the possibility, methods, and resources intelligence agencies might adapt, with a particular focus on how handheld devices such as smartphones, walkie-talkies, and others could potentially be weaponized. Understanding handheld and communication devices. Communication devices, especially handhelds like smartphones, walkie-talkies, laptops, and tablets, have become essential tools in modern life. These devices are equipped with a range of technologies like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular signals, and shortwave frequencies for walkie-talkies. Despite their convenience, the complexity of these devices makes them vulnerable to various forms of exploitation. Types of handheld devices. Smartphones, for example, iPhones, Android devices, laptops and tablets, walkie-talkies. These are commonly used in security, military, and commercial settings. Walkie-talkies use short-range communication via radio frequencies, making them less reliant on cellular networks but still susceptible to tampering. Smartwatches, satellite phones. Each of these devices has its own vulnerabilities that can be targeted by skilled hackers or state-backed intelligence agencies. Intelligence agencies and their capabilities. Modern intelligence agencies, including the CIA, Mossad, MI6, and the NSA, have increasingly focused on cyber capabilities. In addition to traditional methods of espionage, these agencies employ cutting-edge technology to disrupt communications, gather intelligence, and in some cases, sabotage enemy systems. Known technological advancements. Remote access tools. These can be used to infiltrate secure networks and manipulate devices from afar. Zero-day exploits. These vulnerabilities, unknown to software manufacturers, can be weaponized for clandestine operations. Signal interception. Agencies often intercept communications on radio frequencies, especially in walkie-talkies, to disrupt or gather intelligence. Historical examples of explosive devices. In history, handheld devices have been tampered with to serve as remote detonators or to disrupt operations. Intelligence agencies have employed technology to interfere with devices, including mobile phones and walkie-talkies, for covert purposes. Covert operations. 2004 Madrid train bombings. Mobile phones were used as remote detonators in this large-scale attack. Walkie-talkie tampering. During the Cold War, intelligence agencies developed methods to intercept and tamper with walkie-talkie communications, although these cases typically involve surveillance rather than explosions. The feasibility of explosive devices in handhelds. Technically, it is possible to alter a handheld device's hardware and software to cause an explosion. While smartphones and tablets may seem like the most vulnerable, walkie-talkies, due to their use of radio frequencies and simple circuits, can also be exploited under specific conditions. Potential challenges. Space limitations. It would be difficult to embed explosive materials discreetly within walkie-talkies or smartphones. Precision. Triggering an explosion without immediate detection requires precision and advanced knowledge of the device's internals. Can intelligence agencies exploit communication devices? Exploiting communication devices is well within the capabilities of modern intelligence agencies. By identifying weaknesses in software or hardware, agencies can manipulate these devices, potentially causing system malfunctions or even triggering physical damage. Walkie-talkies as targets. Walkie-talkies, while not as complex as smartphones, are still vulnerable. Intelligence agencies could theoretically exploit their radio signals to either disrupt communication or interfere with the internal circuitry, leading to a malfunction or explosion. Using devices as remote explosive triggers. Handheld communication devices, including walkie-talkies, can theoretically be used as remote triggers for explosive devices. By modifying the hardware and gaining access to the internal power source, a skilled technician could cause the device to overheat or malfunction, leading to a potential explosion. Technology required. Control over power supply. Intelligence agencies would need to access the device's battery or circuits. Remote triggering. This could be achieved through radio signals in walkie-talkies or cellular networks in smartphones. Hacking expertise. Disabling security protocols and taking control of the device's internal systems is crucial for successful manipulation. How communication networks can be compromised. Beyond individual devices, intelligence agencies may target communication networks such as those used by walkie-talkies or cellular networks, compromising large-scale operations. By hacking into these networks, agencies can disrupt or sabotage communications. Cyber attacks on networks. Walkie-talkies rely on shortwave or UHF/VHF radio frequencies. A well-planned cyber attack on these frequencies can disrupt entire communication chains, especially in military or emergency scenarios. Potential resources for exploiting devices. To achieve these outcomes, intelligence agencies typically rely on several resources, including hardware specialists, hackers, and advanced surveillance technology. These agencies may also use covert techniques to access devices physically, embedding components that can cause damage later. Hardware manipulation. Walkie-talkies, given their simplicity, can be altered relatively easily to include extra components like miniature explosives or short-circuit triggers. The reported explosions of various electronic devices, such as laptops, pagers, smartphones, intercoms, radios, and solar panels throughout Lebanon, point to a multifaceted and coordinated attack on the country's communication infrastructure. While no official confirmation has emerged yet, several factors suggest a combination of cyber attacks, overloading circuits, and sabotage as possible explanations. Here are the detailed reasons behind these explosions. 1. Cyber attacks targeting communication devices. Malware and hacking. One of the most plausible reasons for the explosions is sophisticated cyber attacks that involve malware capable of manipulating internal systems of communication devices. Malicious software can be programmed to cause overheating or battery malfunction in devices like laptops, smartphones, and pagers. By attacking these devices remotely, hackers can cause them to short-circuit, leading to fires or explosions. Remote access vulnerabilities. Many communication devices, especially those connected to public networks or unsecured Wi-Fi, can be accessed by hackers. Cyber attacks may exploit vulnerabilities in the software or hardware of these devices, causing them to malfunction or overheat. Signal overload. High-frequency signals can be used to target specific devices, especially older models like pagers and radios. These signals can overload the circuits or antennas of devices, causing them to heat up and potentially explode. Such an attack may have been coordinated to disable Hezbollah's communication systems in Lebanon. 2. Electromagnetic pulse, EMP, or electronic warfare EMP attacks. EMPs are bursts of electromagnetic energy that can fry the internal circuits of electronic devices. A low-powered EMP, potentially used by intelligence agencies, can disable or destroy electronic systems without affecting the surrounding infrastructure. This kind of attack could target large groups of devices like laptops, smartphones, radios, and solar panels across a wide area. Directed energy weapons. Another advanced method involves directed energy weapons that emit focused energy beams, such as microwaves, to disable electronics by burning their circuits. Devices exposed to such energy can overheat, spark, or even explode, particularly those with vulnerable lithium-ion batteries. 3. Battery overload and manipulation. Lithium-ion battery failures. Devices like smartphones, laptops, and even solar panels rely on lithium-ion batteries, which are prone to explosion when they overheat. A sophisticated cyber attack or external manipulation could cause the batteries to malfunction by bypassing their safety mechanisms, leading to excessive heating and eventual explosion. Voltage overload. Manipulating the voltage in a device through a malicious cyber attack can overload its battery or circuitry. This is particularly likely in devices with older or poorly maintained battery systems, such as old pagers or solar panels in rural areas. 4. Sabotage and physical interference. Internal sabotage. Sabotage could be another factor in the explosions, especially in areas where Hezbollah operates. If local infrastructure or communication devices were deliberately tampered with, it could lead to the kind of coordinated explosions seen in Lebanon. Modified equipment. Devices such as intercoms, radios, and pagers used by Hezbollah or other militias might have been modified for tracking or surveillance purposes, making them vulnerable to tampering by external forces. If those modifications were compromised, they could easily be turned into dangerous devices capable of self-destructing. 5. Poor infrastructure and maintenance. Overheating due to poor conditions. The explosions could also be a result of poor infrastructure and lack of maintenance. Many devices, such as solar panels or communication radios, may have been installed hastily or without proper oversight. Over time, overheating or wear and tear could lead to short circuits or other malfunctions, resulting in explosions. Power surges. In regions with unreliable power grids, power surges can occur, leading to devices overheating or experiencing electrical malfunctions. This could explain the widespread nature of the device explosions. 6. Solar panels and grid failures. Solar panel failures. Solar panels, particularly those in off-grid locations, can experience voltage fluctuations or storage issues if not properly maintained. If their battery storage systems or inverters are compromised or overloaded, they can ignite and cause explosions. In the case of Lebanon, where energy shortages are common, improper setups and lack of monitoring might make them prone to failure. Targeted infrastructure attacks. It's also possible that solar panels were targeted as part of an overall infrastructure disruption effort, potentially aimed at cutting off local electricity supply or communication systems used by Hezbollah. And who could be responsible for cyberattack in Lebanon? The responsibility for cyberattacks in Lebanon, particularly targeting Hezbollah's communication infrastructure, could potentially be attributed to several actors. Based on geopolitical tensions and past incidents, here are some possible candidates. 1. Israel. Past incidents. Israel has a long history of conducting cyber and electronic warfare, especially against Hezbollah, which it considers a major security threat. Israel's intelligence agencies, particularly Unit 8200, have advanced cyber capabilities and have been known to disrupt Hezbollah's operations through surveillance, hacking, and other forms of sabotage. Motive. Hezbollah is a significant adversary for Israel, and disrupting its communication networks would weaken its operational capability in Lebanon. Israel has conducted cyber operations to prevent Hezbollah from growing stronger, especially in southern Lebanon. 2. United States. Cyber expertise. The United States, through agencies like the National Security Agency, NSA, and Cyber Command, possesses some of the most advanced cyber warfare capabilities in the world. The U.S. has also taken a firm stance against Hezbollah, which it designates as a terrorist organization. Motive. The U.S. has long sought to weaken Hezbollah's influence in Lebanon due to its ties to Iran. Cyberattacks targeting Hezbollah's communication devices could be part of a broader effort to destabilize the group and limit its reach in the region. 3. Iran. Proxy conflicts. Iran, as a supporter of Hezbollah, is unlikely to have carried out the cyberattacks itself, but in complex proxy wars, actors sometimes turn on each other for strategic reasons. However, this is less likely, as Iran heavily supports Hezbollah's communications and military infrastructure. Cyber expertise. Iran also has developed cyber capabilities, but in this case, it's more likely to be a target rather than a perpetrator. 4. Lebanese internal groups. Political factions. Lebanon is home to various political and sectarian groups that may have interests in weakening Hezbollah, especially after recent conflicts and political instability in the country. Internal actors with access to foreign support may have the ability to carry out these cyberattacks as part of local power struggles. Motive. Weakening Hezbollah could shift the balance of power in Lebanon, making it advantageous for rival political groups or even splinter factions within the country to sabotage Hezbollah's networks. 5. Non-state actors. Hacktivists or mercenaries. In recent years, cyberattacks have also been carried out by non-state actors such as hacker groups or mercenary cyber teams working for governments. These actors could be hired by nation-states or organizations with an interest in destabilizing Hezbollah. Advanced Persistent Threat APT groups. Some APT groups, often backed by nation-states, could have carried out such an operation as part of a broader intelligence campaign. 6. Syrian or regional actors. Involvement in the Syrian conflict. Hezbollah's involvement in the Syrian civil war has earned it numerous enemies. Some actors, either from Syria or backed by regional players, could target Hezbollah's communication networks in Lebanon to retaliate for its military actions in Syria. Motive. Undermining Hezbollah's operations could serve to weaken its military presence and influence in both Syria and Lebanon. Conclusion. While no group has claimed responsibility for the attacks, the most likely candidates are Israel, given its long-standing conflict with Hezbollah and its advanced cyber capabilities, and the United States, which has targeted Hezbollah in the past. Through both sanctions and military operations, internal Lebanese factions and non-state actors could also be involved, but they would likely need external support to execute such a sophisticated cyber operation. This is Amanda reporting live. Back to you in the studio.